Hello, good evening. I hope you're having a nice evening. I hope you had a nice day. So how are you? Say hi in the chat. Are you? How are you? Say hi in the chat. Where are you from? Are you from Italy or France? I am from Dublin in Ireland. I have been living in Milan for 3.5 months. I've been living here since January, so perfect timing. And today we are talking about food. So history of food. So obviously Italian food is very famous all over the world, and it has a lot of history. Italian food. Irish food is not very famous. We are famous for potatoes, and Guinness and beer. The most famous dish or food dish from Dublin, where I'm from, is called coddle. It is a type of stew, or casserole, with sausage, potato, and like vegetables. I don't really like it, but it is famous in Dublin. You can eat it in pubs, and some people make it at home. We eat it with mashed potatoes. Always eat potatoes. We eat a lot of potatoes. So my name is Emer. I work in Milan, Montenegro, and I am Irish. So that is my accent. Today we're talking about history of food. So in this focus activity, food quiz, passives, and famous food origins. So a unique dish. What are the most famous dishes from your region or country? Which is your favorite? What is it made from? Which type of food do you think is most well known around the world? And in your opinion, which country has the best food and why? So tell me in the chat. Answer the questions in the chat. So tell us about the food where you are from in the chat. So what are the most famous dishes from your region or country? Okay, the most famous dishes from my country, so I'm Irish, the most famous dishes would be maybe fish and chips, although it's quite English. We do eat a lot of fish and chips. But Guinness stew is very famous. And coddle, which is the sausage stew from Dublin. It is made from sausages because sausage meat in the old days when Irish people were very poor, sausage meat was very cheap. So that is why it's sausage meat. But it's boiled sausages, which I'm not a fan. Not a fan. I don't really like it. And which is your favorite? What is it made from? Ooh, my favorite Irish food would be stew, beef stew. So sometimes we put Guinness in the stew to give it like a rich flavor. It is very nice, very, very good. So beef Guinness stew or a lamb stew. A lamb stew with mashed potato and maybe cabbage. Another famous Irish dish, or a common Irish dish, is bacon, cabbage, and potatoes. So, which is your favorite, and what is it made from? Yeah, okay. Number 2, which type of food do you think is most well known around the world? Okay, which type of food do you think is most well known around the world? Okay. So type of food. I think Italian food is very well known all around the world. Pasta, pizza are very, very popular all over the world. Even in like Asia and China, they have pizza and pasta. But Chinese food is very popular around the world. Japanese food, Thai food, Indian food, very popular. I think maybe Chinese food is the most well known around the world. But the Chinese food in Europe, in Italy or Ireland or Britain, is I've heard very different from the Chinese food that you would eat in China. So maybe Italian food is the most well known. And in your opinion, which country has the best food and why? The best food. Which country? I think Thailand has the best food. I love Thai food, green curry, pad Thai, red curry, noodles, jasmine rice, sriracha, sriracha sauce is Thai. One of my best friends is Thai, and the food is amazing, beautiful, so good. Yeah, there is a Thai food restaurant near my house in Ireland, in my hometown, and they make really good spicy Thai food. So, what do you think? What's your opinion? Which type of food do you think is the most well known around the world? And which country has the best food? So, what do you think? Okay. So Are you a foodie? Take this short quiz about food. Test your knowledge of the history of some famous dishes. Ice cream was invented in A. China, B. Germany, or C. Mexico. Number 2. The English muffin was first baked in A. the USA, B. France, or C. England. 3. When carrots were first grown, they were A. orange, B. purple, or C. green. Chocolate was first made by A. Belgians, B. Italians, or C. Aztecs. And 5. French fries were created in A. Belgium, B. France, or C. England. So write your answers down or in the chat for the short quiz about food. So one more time, ice cream was invented in A. China, B. Germany, or C. Mexico. The English muffin was first baked in A. the USA, B. France, or C. England. 3. When carrots were first grown, they were A. orange, B. purple, or C. green. 4. Chocolate was first made by A. Belgians, B. Italians, or C. Aztecs. And 5. French fries were created in Belgium, France, or England. Okay, let's see the answers. So, are you a foodie? Answers. Number 1, correct answer was A. Ice cream was invented in China. It was made by mixing rice and milk to create a syrup, which was then frozen. Rice and milk. Interesting. Okay. Number 2, correct answer was A. The English muffin was actually baked in the USA before it was brought to England. Interesting. So English muffins, people don't eat English muffins in England at all. I think they are completely American. I've never seen an English muffin in England before. Although, maybe in another part of England that I haven't been to. I think an English muffin is like the muffin you get when you buy an egg McMuffin in McDonald's. You know, the little sandwiches you get for breakfast in McDonald's. I think they are English muffins. Not sure, but they look like them. It's like bread, quite spongy bread. Right. Number 3. Correct answer was B. Carrots were originally purple. The orange carrot was cultivated because it tasted much better than the purple variety. So cultivated means created, grown. So we use cultivated. It means created, but we use cultivated when we are talking about farming or something organic. So cultivated. It means created, sort of. So cultivated because it tasted much better. Okay. C, number 4. The correct answer was C. Chocolate was originally made as a drink by Aztecs and Mayans from South America. Wow, South America. Okay, 5. Correct answer was A. French fries were created in Belgium, then made their way to France. Okay, so how many did you get right? Let me know in the chat. Did you get all 5 correct? Or 4 out of 5? Tell me in the chat. So, a staple food. Pasta is eaten all over the world, but where was it first eaten? When most people think of pasta, it is immediately associated with Italy. But some would argue that pasta was in fact brought to Italy by Marco Polo in 1295, when he returned from China. Before that, it had been eaten by the Chinese as early as 3000 BC. But what the Chinese had created were actually rice noodles. They were similar to pasta, but were made using rice flour instead of wheat. Another popular theory is that pasta was introduced after Sicily had been invaded by Arabs in the 9th century AD. Wherever it came from, pasta has become a staple on tables around the world. Okay, so in this text, find the passives. Find the passives in the paragraph. What tense are they, and why are they passive? So I'll give you a minute to read through the text. Read through the text and find the passives. Okay, did you find the passives? Did you find the passives? So, let's see. So first passive, pasta is eaten all over the world. Okay, is eaten. And what tense is this? Is eaten. it is past simple passive. Is eaten. So is and then past simple. Okay. And where was it first eaten? Okay, another past simple passive. Where was it first eaten? Okay, when most people think of pasta, it is immediately associated with it is immediately okay, but some would argue the pasta was in fact brought to Italy by Marco Polo in 1295. Okay, was brought, past passive, was brought in 1295 when he returned from China. Before that, it had been eaten by the Chinese as early as 3000 BC. But what the Chinese had created were actually rice noodles. They were similar to pasta, but were made using rice flour instead of wheat. Were made. Past passive, were made. Another popular theory is that pasta was introduced. Past passive. After Italy had been invaded by Arabs in the 9th century AD. Wherever it came from, pasta has been a staple on tables around the world. Lovely. So why are they passive? Good question. Why are they passive? So, for example, the first sentence, pasta is eaten all over the world. So how else could we say this sentence in a direct way, non-passive? So in a normal sentence, we have subject, verb, object. In this sentence, we have object, verb, subject. So the most important part about this sentence is the verb, is eaten. This is the most important part. So in a regular sentence, we could say, people eat pasta all over the world. In that sentence, all over the world would be the most important part. People eat pasta all over the world. But here is eaten. The verb is the most important part. So we say pasta is eaten. Okay, but where was it first eaten? So here, again, eaten. The verb is the most important part. We have where was it first eaten? So was eaten. To make passives, we have to be, the verb to be conjugated in the correct tense that we need, plus a past participle. To be plus past participle. So when most people think of pasta, it is immediately associated with Italy. It is to be, it is. Immediately is just an adverb. Immediately. Associated with. Associated with. So associated is the past participle. Associated. All right. So, memory test. What can you remember about the history of pasta? Use the prompts to form questions and then ask your partner. So, which country associated pasta? Which food created the Chinese 3000 BC? Where pasta created? Which part of Italy invaded Arabs 9th century AD? Where pasta eaten today? So I will give you 2 minutes to create questions and answers with your partner. Or if you're at home, write your answers down. So write down the question and your answer. Okay, guys, so what did you get? Can you remember the history of pasta? So let's see, question number 1. Which country associated pasta? So which country is often associated with pasta? I wonder which country. Could it be Italy? Maybe. Yes, Italy is often associated with pasta. Are there any other countries? Well, we read before that China makes noodles, which are very similar to pasta. They have dumplings, which are very, very similar to ravioli. So, yeah, there are some countries that have similar food to pasta, not the same, just similar. Which food created the Chinese 3000 BC? What food was created by the Chinese in 3000 BC? What was it? We learned before it was ice cream. Ice cream. It was made with crushed rice and milk, which was then frozen, which was made into a syrup and then frozen. Very good. Where pasta created? So where was pasta created? Pasta was thought to have been created in, where was it? In China, but it was also but it is not really known when it was created. Which part of Italy invaded Arabs 9th century AD? So which part of Italy was invaded by Arabs in the 9th century AD? Which part of Italy? I can't remember. Was it Sicily or Rome? I don't remember. Which city was it? Do you remember? And where pasta eaten today? So where is pasta eaten today? Pasta is eaten all over the world today. There are lots of different pasta dishes. I saw online in a video a pasta dish in the Philippines, which is, it's like spaghetti bolognese, but the bolognese sauce, ragu, has lots and lots of sugar in it. So it's like very, very sweet bolognese. So it's quite interesting. But in like Japan, in Asia, they have like spicy pasta bolognese. So there are lots of different types of pasta. In Ireland, maybe in England too, but in Ireland, we make pasta carbonara with cream, because we in Ireland, people don't know how to whisk the pasta water and the pasta water and the oil to make the emulsion for when we add in the eggs. So we just add cream. So it's like very creamy, lots of sauce, with like mushrooms and bacon. It's very nice, but it's not really carbonara, but it is creamy. It has bacon. It's good. Maybe not proper carbonara, but it still tastes nice. Okay, a famous dish. Use passives to retell the story of a famous dish to the group. So examples: present, present perfect, past perfect. All right. So present, pasta is dried to keep it fresh. Present perfect, pasta has been dried all over the world. Past, pasta was not created in China. And past perfect, pasta had been eaten in Italy before Marco Polo returned from China. Okay, so we have our tenses for passives. Present passive is plus past participle. Sorry. Present perfect, has been plus past participle, spread. Past, so our past version of to be with created, past participle. And past perfect, so we have had been eaten, had been, our past perfect. Been is our version of to be, so had been to be, and eaten, past participle. Okay, so use passives to retell the story of a famous dish to the group. So this is the retelling of the story of pasta. I will show you. I will show you another story. No, not that one. I will show you another story, and we will use passives to tell the story. So 1 second while I attach the PDF. All right. So we will tell the story of hamburgers. First, we'll read. So, hamburgers. (1121) Genghis Khan's armies tenderized meat by putting it under the saddles of their horses. 1238 Genghis's grandson, Kubilai Khan, invades Russia. The Russians adopt the ground meat into their cuisine and add chopped onions and raw eggs. They call it steak tartare. 1600 Ships from the German port of Hamburg begin trading with Russia. Sailors bring back steak tartare to Germany. The Germans use fresh meat to make the patties instead of salted meat, which the Russians have used. 1800s German soldiers bring the popular dish to America. Cooks sell it in the port and call it Hamburg steak. Eventually, the steak becomes popular among the poor classes in America. They add breadcrumbs and onions to stretch the meat. 1900s Restaurants add hamburgers to their menus. Originally, they cost about 20 cents. Today, what can you tell us about hamburgers today? Okay, so I'll give you 2 minutes to maybe 3 minutes to tell the story of hamburgers using passives. Okay, so remember past passive, present passive, past perfect, present perfect. Yeah. So remember, it's the conjugation of to be for past, present, perfect, plus past participle. Okay, so I'll give you 3 minutes to tell the story using passives. So, for example, we could say meat was tenderized by putting it under the saddles of Genghis Khan's horses. Meat, yeah, we could say meat was tenderized by putting it under the saddles of their horses. Or we could say, in Genghis Khan's armies, meat was tenderized by putting it under the saddles of their horses. In 1238, Russia was In 1238, Russia was invaded by Kubilai Khan, Genghis' grandson. Ground meat was adopted into their cuisine, and chopped onions and raw eggs had been added. They called it steak tartare. 1600. Ships from the German port of Hamburg begin trading with Russia. sailors bring back steak tartare to Germany. So steak tartare was brought back to Germany by sailors. Fresh meat was used by the Germans to make the patties instead of salted meat, which was used by the Russians. So we can say which was used, or which had been used by the Russians. Okay, 1800s. German soldiers bring the popular dish to America. Cooks sell it in the port and call it Hamburg steak. 1800s. The popular dish was brought to America by German soldiers. The dish was sold in ports and named Hamburg steak. Eventually, the steak had become popular among the poor classes in America. Breadcrumbs and onions were added to stretch the meat. 1900s. Restaurants add hamburgers to their menus. So in the 1900s, hamburgers were added to menus in restaurants. Originally, they cost about 20 cents. Today, what can you tell us about today? What can be said about hamburgers today? Let's try another one. Ice cream. Actually, no, we won't. We'll do the last slide. Okay, last slide. So the future of food. What will food of the future be like? Will more genetically modified foods be used, or will we have returned to more natural farming? Will urban planning become popular in your community? All right. What will food of the future be like? Will more genetically modified foods be used? Genetically modified. So genetically modified foods are foods which have been changed for the better. Sometimes their genetics have been changed to make them immune to disease and what's called drought. So they grow better, faster, stronger. Okay, so do I think genetically modified will be used? Yes, I think in the future more genetically modified foods will be used because the Earth's climate is going to keep on changing. It will probably keep getting worse and more extreme every year. And I think farmers will have no choice but to use genetically modified foods. Not foods, genetically modified plant seeds for growing food. And will urban farming become popular in your community? Well, actually, in my town in Ireland, urban farming is quite popular. I live in the suburbs, so it's not really it's not a city, but um, there are a few fields and green lands which have been modified to have um, little small patches for local people who live in houses with very small gardens or in apartments where they have no garden, to grow their own food. And there are competitions there for the biggest vegetables or the most beautiful roses. So yeah, I think urban farming will become popular. I mean, in Milan, there are the famous two towers. I can't remember their name. Maybe the Green Towers in Isola in Milan. So they have lots of plants all over the buildings, which are a form of urban farming. Number 2, what is being done to prevent food waste in your country and in other countries? Okay, prevent food waste. Well, I saw a video online. I can't remember what country it was in. I think it was in Britain, somewhere in England, maybe. And in the video, there was a food market, just a local food market. And there was a stall there, or a shop stall. And they were taking leftover food from restaurants and even houses and cooking it and then giving it out to people for free. So they were showing how you can keep on reusing your food, keep on cooking it into different dishes, and giving it out so it doesn't go to waste. All right. And if you could eat only one food for the rest of your life, what would it be and why? Huh. If I could eat only one food for the rest of my life, I think I would eat maybe Thai food. If it was just one food, maybe pizza, because pizza has bread, cheese, vegetables, or meat, so it kind of has everything. Perfect, guys. Well, thank you so much for today. I'm going to end it there. It's 8:50. Have a good evening and enjoy the rest of your week. I'll see you again another time. Bye.